What's good, South Jersey? I'm Isaiah Showell, and I got the fire, and I have the oil. Now, you may be wondering what I'm talking about, but just keep your eyes glued to the screen because you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to the fire and the oil, and Miss Pamela Shamari, who is sprinkling the fire and the oil on everyone who came to her art expo, okay? So many gifted and talented artists that I had the pleasure of meeting and interviewing. But what are you waiting for, you're saying, right? Let's get to it. Without further ado, let's get to it. Here is the Fire and Oil Expo. That was definitely what's good in South Jersey this week. The oil represents anointing and provision from God, and that's exactly what Miss Pamela Shamari wanted to make room for her artists to experience and everyone who attended the art expo that she hosted, and she did so successfully.
I really want people to flourish in their God-given destiny. You know, I don't want any reason for somebody to say, I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that, because I didn't have the resource, I didn't have the opportunity. So I exist, our Christian Connect exists to give people that opportunity to show their talents to the world. Our talents are not meant to be buried underneath the ground. Who I am is for my brother and for my sister. So Christian Connect, or what I want to see from these Christians, is to get out their shell and just stand boldly in who God created them to be.
Ms. Shamari is the founder of Christian Connect INC, the nonprofit focused on believers working to fulfill their life's purpose in faith and in business, and giving others the platform is essential. So when Mr. Joshua Toll, the spoken word artist, performed, he's aligning with Ms. Shamari's God-given vision.
The message that we wanted to communicate is that it's not really about getting caught up in the things that we do. It's really getting caught up in Him. Because we felt like a lot of people, we lose our fire and passion because we're not plugged into the right thing. We're not plugged into the right source, which is God, right? We get so caught up in doing, become like a human doing instead of the human being that the Lord called us to be. And if we're going to be out here being on the light and sharing the gospel, then we got to make sure that we're actually plugged into the right resource.
Joseph's Coat, Where Have All the Dreamers Gone, is an original art piece made by Miss Loris Andrade, highlighting the birthright Jacob gives his son Joseph and the dreams and visions God shares with him in the Bible, in the book of Genesis. And even Miss Andrade says that God shares dreams and visions with her as well.
What you see here is, it looks like two minds and a brain actually. So it's two minds. And I was looking at it here and I was like, wow, Lord, it's my mind and your mind together. And you're giving me your mind and you're showing me what you think of, what's in your head, what's in your mind. And so that's why it looks kind of wild, because dreams are pretty wild.
Mr. Aaron Broomfield is the creator of a painting called Stillness, an everlasting reminder of how much is gained by spending intentional quiet time with God.
In his life, he did a lot of miracles, he did a lot of things as a representation of what we should be doing. And looking beyond his divinity, just as him as a man, every time he did something miraculous, he healed somebody, fed the 5,000, he would take time away to be with his father in solitude. So that's really what this piece is about, man. Finding time in the business of today to find that stillness and to find that time really to just pray and get with God.
Miss Heather Straza was also sharing her artwork while also sharing how God healed her from a terrible car accident at the event.
I was hit, T-bone. I was in the hospital. They gave me major surgery, had to remove half of my skull. Swelling. I was completely non-responsive. They said I wasn't going to make it. Everybody was there praying for me. The next day I was responsive, and they gave me another CAT scan. And they say, we don't know how to tell you this, but Heather's brainstem is completely perfect. They said it healed, and they said, no, it's not that it's healed. It's like nothing ever happened to it. There was no swelling, there was no injury. It was like God gave me a brand new brainstem. And within just 2 more days, I came out of the coma. I got in recovery mode within 4 weeks after they said it would take a year for me to heal.
Miss Ashley Henry shared a piece called "O Come to the Altar," symbolizing the sacrifices that are pleasing to God before and after Jesus.
The Israelites would set up these altars to the Lord, and where they were sacrificed sheep and lambs, and it was a way of them atoning for their sins. When they did certain practices, it was a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And after Jesus came and he died on the cross, the sacrifices looked a little bit different. Instead of having animals in the place, Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice. So we no longer have to have those animal sacrifices, but he does call us to lay down our lives as a living sacrifice to him, to lay down our will, our desires, our wants, and to give it completely to him. And that in turn is now a beautiful aroma to him. So this painting has these light streaks coming from above to represent God receiving that sacrifice. These rocks are kind of on an angle tilting upwards towards the fire that are covered by gold. And so it's just a painting for you to look at and to remember to bring yourself to Him, to lay your life down and sacrificial love to Him, and to know that it's pleasing to Him when you do that.
Special shout out to all the artists who performed and displayed their work, and to Miss Pamela Shamari for providing the platform. Go visit ChristianConnect.us and donate and see how you can pour into their efforts. In Lincoln Park at the Christian International Church, I'm Isaiah Showell, and that's what's good in New Jersey this week.